I now have Michael from Maersk in the studio with me from the panel on alternate cargo transport. So, welcome, Michael.
Thanks.
You bet. One of the topics that came up on the panel this afternoon was the recalibration of the market. Can you give us your perspective on that?
Certainly. And I think we kind of alluded to it also in the discussion, but the way I see it, there's quite some changes happening now in the heavy lift and breakbulk market, probably caused most by liner carriers' increased focus and capability building. As I explained in there, it's such not a new thing for Maersk, but I do appreciate that today we just have much larger vessels than we had before. You know, when you all of a sudden you are able to deliver on 18 or 20,000 plus TEU vessels, and also you have ports that scale up accordingly. Of course, it increases our capabilities within the traditional breakbulk market. And I think when I meet customers, it becomes more and more clear for them. I think first of all that we are in this to stay, and that we have quite advanced heavy lift capabilities today, but also what our strengths are in terms of the reliability, the steadiness, the fixed weekly departure, and the fast reliability, or the scheduling of the service really. And you see more and more customers fixing their supply chain around that, leveraging in the fact that they can reduce their stocks on the export side, and hence also improve their net working capital really. So hereby creating cost savings, of course. And I think that's just becoming more clear that is now actually a proven service package in the industry, which kind of course pushes to some of the existing players, the way I see it, because we eat into the cake, but of course there's also a limitation to how aggressive we can be and how advanced breakbulk we can take. So in my view, that just means that the other players, the existing players, the ro-ro, the traditional breakbulk carriers, they probably have to be sharper within their segments. And I think in 3-4 years down the line, maybe you just have a more clearly segmented breakbulk market as well, where it is clear that we compete on the terms that I just said, what we deliver. And then you had, for example, what David was saying from BVC point of view, that of course they can induce ports. They have a different level of flexibility, and they start focusing more and more maybe on the real, core heavy lift pieces of the market.
Do you see future cooperation or any kind of partnerships between different kinds of carriers?
I mean, it's not in our pipeline today, but that being said, you always have to stay open to innovation, and a lot of it will ultimately be demand driven. I guess today you have the specialized forwarders really offering that umbrella. We had in the discussion Thomas, who represented the forwarder view, and of course, I think for him this must be just a great development, because he's able to offer a different portfolio of services now. So I guess from a carrier point of view today, we kind of rely on him, or the customers rely on him to do that that part of the work. Maybe in the future, as it becomes more clear for the customers who exactly offers what and what makes sense, when for the individual customer, maybe they approach us more directly. I don't know, or maybe you could see, collaborations as you're hinting. That's a good question.
Okay, well, interesting. Thanks so much for sharing your views with us.